Welcome to the Veronica Edwards Show, where we have fun financial conversations that everyone listening can apply to their personal and professional life. I'm your host, Veronica Edwards, CPA, and today we are back again, season 6 in 2026, still completely independent, sponsored by Balance Virtually LLC, my accounting and consulting business. So we always start out the show shouting out the V team as we are close to 100,000 views across all platforms. And guys, we've done that in one season. So we appreciate you guys so much for, just being so supportive, providing great feedback. But we're still looking for sponsors, guests, and loyal listeners. So please like and subscribe and head over to balancevirtually.com or veronicaedwards.buzzsprout.com. So for today's show, this guest was actually on our live last month, March the 25th, shows you where my mind is right now. And we had a really good conversation. So before or after this episode, I want you to make sure that you go back, watch that live on our YouTube channel so you can really see the background of this amazing guest. So I would like to welcome Miss Irene Jenny Pickens, who's an incredibly talented, self-taught artist in Asheville, North Carolina. Welcome back, Miss Pickens. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Yes. So we'll do some audio magic in the background. You guys, we're recording, and Jenny is dog sitting because it's spring break. And as soon as we started, the dog started barking. It's just, I know you was like, nope, we don't have time. I was like, it's fine. Aaron will do his magic. Our producer does all his great behind the scenes. But Jenny, tell us how you've been. We want people to go back, listen to the live, but I do want you to just talk about your journey. But we are going to be talking about, for most of the show, the fact that you have your own studio space. But let people know a couple things about you that you feel like is important if they haven't listened to any of the prior shows.
Well, I'm excited about having, like you said, finally having a studio space that works for me. It To finally have a space where it's important to have a space that people can come and check your work out in person. I mean, it's fine having things online, which that's what I've been doing, was using social media. But sometimes people like to see things in person. They actually want to have like a conversation with the artist as well. So I think it's
Yes.
important to have that location for that.
Yes. But tell us about you and how you became an artist and the work behind you. I'm assuming is all of your art, the dolls, the paintings. Jenny is a multi mixed media teaching artist, all of these things that you've done. Just a little bit of background. We want people to go back, but tell us things that you want us to know about you.
Well, how I really got into art was as a young person. There's a lot of personal things going on at home. And so I found out that I could like make things. And so I would go into this little corner and find things around the house and just make things like taking old soda boxes or scraps of fabric from old clothes and just different things. And I would take the clothes off the dolls I had and make my own clothes and build a house out of the box and just kind of make my own creative space. And that's when I knew I could really draw. But my grandmother, like, it drove her crazy because she's like, "You wake up with a crayon, you go to bed with a crayon." But then meeting my first kindergarten teacher at Randolph Elementary, Miss Portia Mapp at the time was her name. Mapp is Leverett now. And that lady would come in there and smile and just like this beautiful smile. And she saw this work I was doing. I was always painting a house with a flower in the yard. She was like, "You're such a great artist." And after
Oh.
that what she said to me just changed everything I did with art. So I just found time every day or all the time just to make art.
And I love that you're also a teaching artist, and I know you work with young people of all ages. It is so important to pour into the youth because that's when we figure out what we want to be when we grow up. And you remembered your kindergarten teacher. You knew her last name, her maiden name, her now married. That person really left an impression on you. And I think a lot of times we see something in young people and we just don't say anything. But as that young of age, you were 5 or 6 years old. Before we started the show, we were talking about Jenny's beautiful granddaughter. Zoe's what, 10?
Yes.
She has artwork that can be commissioned. She has really good, so it starts at a young age. That's amazing, and so, Jenny and I have talked about this summer, I definitely want my son to utilize Jenny's services, and we'll talk about some of the services that you provide, Jenny, but I wanted to spend most of today's episode on the fact that you are in the Rad Rendezvous space with over 100 other artists for a limited time just in 2026, a little bit of 2027. But tell us about how you got this opportunity and what does it feel like to have your own space? You alluded to the fact that it makes a difference to touch the people that, or have a little background of the people that are buying your art because you have a huge following online. But talk about even in 2026, how it still is important for artists to have their own space.
Yeah, it's I think people take it a little seriously also when you have a location. Cuz you say, "Oh, you're just an artist. Oh, how good is you?" Cuz you can tell a person how much you love art and that you do art, but
Mhm.
when they don't see it, they kind of envision like, "Oh, she's just a are they just a regular artist?" But having that location is it brings value. I think it brings a little value to your craft as
I
well.
agree. I agree. And we talk about this in business a lot like, oh, if you don't have to have a studio space or an office space, save that money. But in your case, it's actually an asset that's going to add value. That's an investment that is going to help you sell more artwork. So there's over 100 artists at the Rad. Now, how old is the Rad and how did this concept come about? Because I think we should have like 10 more Rad rendezvous in the River Art District because we have so many great artists, but they have no place to go.
Yeah, I don't wanna, give a wrong information or date. I'm not really sure. I don't think the rat has been up, it hasn't been a year. I don't think it's been a year. Jeffrey Burrows is actually the president down in the River Arts District, and he and Alexandria Ravenel, who is the owner of Noir Collective AVL, which is located in one of the parts of the YMI Culture Center, actually worked together to kind of create the space that's for a couple of artists of color, let's say black artists. So
Yes.
I have a space, and next to me is Jerry Suttles and Margot Vaughn. So we're next to each other, but it just give us that experience of having a studio space and see how that part of the business works.
Yeah.
And we like I said, we've been working out of our homes. We've been going to small places, and it's time to expand from that, and like I say, people take you more serious when you actually have a location.
Yes. So if a person is coming to visit your space, Jenny, what is that experience like? What can they see if they come to your space? Do you do things right on the spot, or do you need some time?
Yeah, I started working on a piece while I'm there, that I started on, and I just randomly put some lines on there, came back a little later, and then just added color to it just to see how it goes, and I'm kinda like doing little recordings just to see how the process and step goes, 'cause I have ideas in my head, but they're not necessarily go onto the canvas the way I imagine them. So it's the whole step, and then I like to leave it there. People just come by, look at it, maybe come by and check out later to see what the process of it is.
I love
I
that.
also use this space to I've got prints like poster prints. I also have I'm doing these little I call story boxes. So little frame little art pieces. So just a little bit of different art that I do just to give people an idea that it's just not just one thing like paintings. So I do more than just painting.
Yes. And it was funny on the live. I want you guys to listen back to it where you mentioned that we live in Western North Carolina and people come from all over to the River Art District. And I'm sure there's been times where people have pressured you, you shared this to draw mountains and, to draw things that reflect Western North Carolina, almost to even become a little gimmicky if you get to a point where cash flow might be tight. What do you say to aspiring artists, current artists, when people are telling you and trying to control what your art should be?
And the thing is, as an artist, you find what you love and how you can share your story. Everybody has their own story. My art is based it's still Asheville, but it tells more of the the Black history part of Asheville, like what's being
Yes.
erased. So I'm always talking about who I am and my culture and where we come from, so it's never lost.
Yes.
So, if you wanna do mountains, that's fine. If somebody wants to commission me to do mountains, that's fine. But my thing mostly is not about creating this piece just so I can sell it because that's the popular thing. It's about I'm giving part of myself every time I'm creating a piece, sewing or making something.
That's true, and I liked you mentioned on the live too, I'm making what I like, but if you commission me, meaning if you're paying me under contract to maybe do some family portraits or to do some mountains, then I'll do it, but that's not just my natural inclination is to just draw mountains, and I think that's a good distinction because a lot of artists, as we know, are utilizing AI, and they're just seeing what's trendy and what's going on, but that's not gonna last, and I think it's even more you guys have more of an exposure as artists. I can fake it a little bit as an accountant, but you can't fake it with art.
Right, exactly. And like I say, when you're creating a piece of art, you gotta stay true to yourself and who you are.
Mhm.
Some people were I was had this conversation with a guy a few days ago at this market I was at, and he was like, "I wanna be like you. I wanna have a painting up in on the walls." I'm like, everybody's journey is different. It didn't
Yes.
just start over my having paintings on didn't start overnight. This is endless times of being turned away, people not you feeling like your work is not good enough, and then I had to build this thing up like, I'm good. I'm okay with what I do. The right
Yes.
person's gonna find my work. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
I'm not here to please every single person that buys art,
Yep.
but
And
yeah,
that's
you just
how it should be in business. Yeah, not everybody is gonna want me as a CPA, not everybody's gonna want you as an artist. Does that mean I stop being who I am, how I teach accounting, how I do accounting? No, I think you hit that on the head. And so, we talked about the RAD rendezvous in the River Art District. Where's the address? What's the hours? I know you mentioned there's other artists there. If you're not there and they still want to buy your work, how does it work in the space that you're in?
so the space I'm in, like I share it with a lot of other artists inside of there, and everybody has different mediums and different types of work. Um, and it's called the Rendezvous. It's right next to it's on Robert Street, right next to the hotel, the Radical Hotel.
Well, you guys are in a good spot. Good spot.
Yeah, so it's a really nice location. I like the fact that it's open every day from 9 to 5. They do have some artists have QR codes that you can if you it's like an honor system kinda, but there's always someone at the front. But if you see a piece that's accessible, you can get it and pay for it through Venmo or Cash App, however you choose to do it. Me personally, I haven't I kinda like wanna meet the people before I sell it because it's more of,
Yes.
I wanna hear the tell the story behind each piece that you're getting, you know?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
real collectors wanna know a story.
Yeah.
Um, and so but it's really up to how that person wants to sell. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it goes back to, like you said, having that space really does make a difference. Because like you said, you wanna know that story. Once they talk to you and understand the story of this painting, they might be like, "Well, actually, I want this one too." Or yeah, so I never thought about that, when it comes to the space, it's not necessarily just that you just wanna have a space because, again, you're busting at the seams at home, but it's also to help tell the story, because I know just walking in there, I was just getting inspired, so I know that you're getting inspired big time being in there. So this show is gonna air April the 16th, Jenny. What are some things that are taking place in April? We're recording this the week of spring break in North Carolina, and Jenny is a teaching artist too. So this is our spring break. So I know you're going to be in the studio a lot, but this is going to air April the 16th. So what can we look forward to that's going on?
Well, I have a lot of actually I really don't do this is the crazy thing, I always said I don't do pop-ups, but lately, I'm gonna be doing a few this spring and summer, which I
Try
think,
it out.
because, what I usually do, my paintings are large size or whatever, and people not really like I mean, they go get some journals or something like that, but I just wanted to kinda open up the door for more possibilities of different things, so,
Yes.
I'll be doing on, April 25th is on a Saturday, I'll be in, West Asheville at the Spring Fling at the Peace Gardens. May 23rd, my daughter and I are going to be doing our doll circle, but we haven't decided on the location and the time yet, but it will be the 23rd, which is on a Saturday. The 30th, from 5 to 8, I'll be at the Art Makers Market, which is, at Mountain Madre Mexican, Kitchen and Agave Bar, which is on Walnut Street. It's in the courtyard area. I'll be
Hmm.
doing that. Also, I just got a friend of mine I met at the Big Craft. That's why I say these craft events and these artist things is really good because you connect with other people. So I was
Yes.
invited to do Flowers Frolic and Fair, which is a kind of a craft event at Junebug Retro Resort, which is in Weaverville. That'll be June 6th and 7th, that whole weekend.
Wow.
And then, of course, my favorite thing I like to do in July is the Big Crafty, and that's
Yes.
July 11th and 12th at Harris Cherokee Center downtown
So
Nashville.
let's talk about the Big Crafty because we didn't get a chance to talk about it as much on the live. For those listening that I never heard of the Big Crafty till I moved into Western North Carolina 10 years ago, tell us what is the Big Crafty? Why do you love it so much? And what type of artists do you recommend?
Okay, I used to watch the news and I would see this Big Crafty event, and it wasn't that big, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's so nice how they can," and it was like showing different artists doing things. And so one year my son, I was making these dolls. They were funny, but now I look back, but they were like styrofoam heads, and I was collecting socks from people, like,
You
not
was you
old,
was
like, some like,
creating.
yeah, just getting socks. I was like, "Imma make these dolls out of socks," and so I was making some. My son's like, "Mom, you know what? You should try the Big Crafty." I said, "They're not gonna like this stuff." And so this is then you could do email. It wasn't really like, website
Right.
connection, none of that. So I said I applied for it. I sent some pictures of the dolls I had done, and I got in. So the first day I got there, I'm thinking, "Oh god, these people not gonna like these dolls." The person beside me was like, she was like, "Is this your first time doll?" So she's like, "You be ready." She said, "'Cause when that door open, you be ready because 'cause you're gonna sell some stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, right." I sold out. Like, I had, maybe like 3 or
Wow.
4 dolls left at the end, which was great because 'cause I'm thinking, "They really like these dolls." But they were actually cute, but they were like, some of the stitching was kind of a little off, but it was just more of the they gave it the personality of the dolls.
Yes,
And of course,
yes.
they didn't have a face. And so now I've been doing it for several years now. Um, there is so many talented people that apply for this. And I think they select ones that are unique and different. Not saying that nobody is like,
Sure.
it's just they try not to get people that are doing the same kind of thing. But you'll be amazed. And I tell everybody come check it out. It's like you got the arena area, which is the
Have
downstairs,
to.
and you got the top over the concourse area, which I'm usually at. It's a walkthrough, but it's just like, I mean, I get so much inspiration. I love to like leave early, kind of like have somebody watch my bike, go downstairs and kind of check out stuff. And I've met some amazing people, have some connections, and you get inspired by other artists. Yeah.
So, Jenny, is the requirement that you have to be a North Carolina resident, or can it be an artist from wherever?
No, they have the application process come out, and once it's up, they'll give you a few weeks to apply for it. You send in pictures of your art, your website if you have a website, and then they just vote on who they want to come in.
That's wonderful. So you said that's in July, so there's still some time. Applications will open up for those that are listening. And then before we leave, Jenny, I definitely want to add that I'm so excited that you have the studio space rendezvous in the River Art District, but the space is just for 1 year that you have this availability. So what does this look like for you in 2027? We know as entrepreneurs, it's exciting. We got the space, but now you're on to the next thing. So those listening, how can we support you to ensure that you have space in the future? What type of space do you need? Where's, of course, your ideal space is where you're at right now, but if you know that that space might not be available next year, what does that look like for you?
Well, I'm pretty sure that they're going to be having some more available art spaces down in that location. I think that really is a good location because it was voted number one arts district in America. So that means people
Ooh,
are coming. And then with the summer finally gets here, it's going to be more and more traffic, and visibility. And that's what's important as an artist is visibility. You can
yes.
be as talented as you are, but having that visual space, and If somebody has a space that's gonna come available within a year, like, let me know, contact me, let me know what's available so I can get it or apply
Yes,
for it. And then this also opens doors for other artists like myself who are well, I'm an Asheville native, and it was just time for me to have something to represent Asheville.
absolutely. And
So,
once you have a space, it's hard to go again without a space. And you're one of many artists that are in that same situation because a lot of programs have came out where they're assisting folks in getting space, not just artists, but post Helene. And
yes,
so those that are listening, please will have all of Jenny's information here that if you have studio space even available now, or that you're thinking about if you're investing in real estate, where are areas that we can support in Western North Carolina? And I'm very pleased to hear that the River Art District is one of the number one art districts in the United States. So we definitely want to continue to support artists like yourself, Jenny. And so, Jenny, anything else that you want to add? We know where to find you. You said you're in the River Art District, you're off Robert Street. Every day you mentioned that the studio space is open, even Saturday and Sunday. So from 9 to 5,
yes.
people can come and visit you. And tell us your website if people cannot make it to Western North Carolina, but they have all year to find you for sure in this space. And we already claiming that you're going to have another space after this year, if not in the same space. How can people reach out to you, Jenny?
You can find me online at Jenny Pickens LLC, which is my website. Also, I'm on social media. I'm Jenny Pickens Art on Instagram, Facebook, Jenny Pickens Art as well. There's several ways to find me online. You can also Google search me.
Oh, she's the Google queen, honey. She's outside. So, and then also all your services, you teach young people, you can do summer camps, you do commissioned work. What are all the services that you provide?
All of that you said above. If you want private art lessons, I can come to you wherever you're located. If you want to do a training and involve some art activity, for that.
You do virtual
Always.
art
Yeah.
classes too, right?
Yes. I can do
And
all of
I
it.
see that you have your grandbaby on your lap. Can we see? It's making
It's
some
my
noise.
her name is Nala. Nala doesn't think she's a dog.
Nala, clearly,
She has been
clearly.
she's been running outside to the car and wanting to go home because she's like, "I'm gonna go home." So,
We have to tell mom next time Nala needs to go to Florida where they're at, to where the rest of the family. Well, Judy, thank you so much on spring break, taking time away from your amazing studio space, and of course, for sharing your gift, your story through your incredible work. And again, I would love for everyone to go back on our page to check out the live where it showed some work that Jenny has done for myself, a portrait of my family and my amazing father, rest in peace, Vernon Vaughn Jr. So thanks again to everyone for listening to the Veronica Edwards Show. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. We're on Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, anywhere where there are shows, so you can never miss another episode. So until next time, stay balanced and financially savvy.